All right, class. So today I'm going to introduce you to what we call the CAF menu. And what CAF simply stands for is comprehension, accuracy, fluency, and expanded vocabulary. The first strategy we want to work on is comprehension. And comprehension means I understand what I read. One of the things we're going to introduce today in the strategy that involves comprehension is called check for understanding. But before we really get into that, I'm going to first read to you a book that I love, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, by Laura Joffe Numeroff, and illustrated by Felicia Bond. Again, we're going to work on comprehension, and we're going to introduce the strategy called checking for understanding. And what this strategy implies is that we're going to stop frequently and we're going to check or monitor our understanding. So again, we're going to work on a comprehension strategy called checking for understanding, which means we are going to understand what we read. That's what comprehension means. And we're also going to stop frequently and monitor our reading so that we are able to comprehend what we're reading. And the book we're going to read is If You Give a Mouse a Cookie by Laura Joffe Numeroff, illustrated by Felicia Bond. If you give a mouse a cookie. If you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to ask for a glass of milk. When you give him the milk, he's probably going to ask for a straw. When he's finished, he'll ask for a napkin. Then he'll want to look in the mirror to make sure he doesn't have a milk mustache. When he looks into the mirror, he might notice his hair needs a trim. So he'll probably ask for a pair of scissors. We're going to stop right here. We're going to just basically ask the question, what do we know so far about the mouse? So we know that if we give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want what? A glass of milk. And then once he drinks the milk, he's going to want what? A straw. He's going to want a straw to drink the milk. And from there, he's going to want a napkin. And from a napkin, he's probably going to look into what? The mirror. And once he looks into the mirror, he's going to need what? A trim. So we know that if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want milk. He's going to want what? He's going to want a straw. He's going to want to look in the mirror. Yes. He's going to want to have a napkin. Absolutely. So let's continue on. Then he'll want a pair of nail scissors. When he's finished giving himself a trim, he'll want a broom to sweep up. He'll start sweeping. He might get carried away and sweep every room in the house. He may even end up washing the floors as well. When he's done, he'll probably want to take a nap. And we're going to stop right there. We want to check our understanding and make sure that we comprehend and are able to read the words. And look at and when we're doing so, we notice that the mouse wants a cookie. If you give the mouse a cookie, he's going to want milk. He's going to want a straw. He's going to want to, yes, he's going to want a napkin. He's going to want to look in the mirror and think that he needs a trim. He's going to want to check his milk mustache, absolutely. Yes, if we give him a cookie, he's going to want to sweep the floor. And then he might end up what? Washing the entire floors, absolutely. And then he might want what? A nap. He want a nap. You have to fix up a little box for him with a blanket and a pillow. He'll crawl and make himself comfortable and fluff the pillow a few times. He'll probably ask you to read him a story. So you'll read to him from one of your books and he'll actually see the pictures. When he looks at the pictures, he'll get so excited, he'll want to draw one of his own. He'll ask for a paper and crayons. He'll draw a picture. When the picture is finished, he'll want to sign his name with the pen. Then he'll want to hang his picture on your refrigerator, which means he'll need Scotch tape. he'll hang up this drawing and stand back to look at it. Looking at the refrigerator will remind him that he's thirsty. So he'll ask for a glass of milk. And chances are, if you ask for a glass of milk, he's going to want a cookie to go with it. So what do we know and what do we understand about if you give a mouse a cookie? As we read it, you realize that if you give a mouse a cookie, he's going to want a straw, he's going to want milk, he's going to want to look in the mirror to see if he has a milk mustache, and by looking in the mirror, we're going to realize that he's needing a trim, so he's going to want the scissors to cut his hair. From there, we know he's going to need and want to, sweep the rooms. He's going to wash the room's floor. He's going to take a nap. He's going to want to draw. Yes, he's going to want to hang the pictures up. He's going to get thirsty, and then what? He's going to want a glass of milk, which means more than likely, he's going to also want, again, another cookie. So what we just covered, we covered the comprehension strategy. And again, comprehension means I understand what I read. And one way to understand what you read is to check for understanding. And how do we check for understanding is we stop frequently to monitor our understanding. Okay, so again, we just covered the CAP menu, we covered comprehension, and we did our check for understanding. We're going to go on again, class, and we're going to read another out loud again. This time we're going to use a different book, and we're going to check for accuracy. And accuracy means I can read the words. So while we're comprehending, which means I know and understand what I'm reading, accuracy says I know the words that I'm reading. So if I can know the words that I'm reading, that means I would read and know what I'm reading. Therefore, I will understand it. I would know comprehension. So again, we're going to go with accuracy this time. We're going to look at accuracy, and we're going to learn a strategy called cross-checking. And we're going to use a different book. One of my favorite books is called Oh, the Places You Would Go by Dr. Seuss. We're going to go with accuracy. We're going to check on accuracy this time. We're going to read All the Places You Would Go by Dr. Seuss. And we're going to introduce what we call the cross-checking. Absolutely. We're going to do what we call the cross-checking. But before we do really get into the book, let's go over again one more time about checking for understanding. And we're going to read All the Places You Would Go by Dr. Seuss. Congratulations, today is your day. You're off to great places, you're off and away. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself in the direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you're the guy who will decide where to go. You'll look up and down streets, look them over with care. About some you will say, I don't choose to go there. With your head full of brains and your shoes full of feet, you're too smart to go down any not so good street. And you may not find any you'll want to go down. In that case, of course, you'll head straight out of town. So let's just pause for a minute, and we're going to use our comprehension strategy called checking for understanding with Dr. Seuss, All the Places You Would Go. So we know that we're on our way. And because we're on our way, we realize that some streets we're going to have to look down and look them over with care because we're smart. We don't want to just go down any street. So we're smart. And so because we don't want to go down any street, we're going to look them over with care before. And if we don't find one that we want to go down, we're going to decide to leave out of town. So now let's look at our cross-checking. Cross-checking has a unique strategy which lets us know that when we cross our left shoulder, we're going to look at do the pictures and our words look right. So we'll come over across our shoulder to see if the pictures or words look right. And when we get back into the book, we're going to do that. Again, we're going to look at and see, do it sound right? If it sounds right, we're going to put both our hands across our chest. Both our hands across our chest. So the first hand is going to go across our right shoulder and touch our left shoulder. And we're going to check and see do the words and pictures look right. Second, we're going to go double cross our chest with both hands to see if it sound right. And if it sound right, we cross our chest. The last thing we're going to look at is do it make sense. If it makes sense, we put both hands down. So we're going to cross our chest to our left side, double cross our chest with both hands down to check for understanding, which means we are reading both the words and the pictures. So let's get back to the book, Dr. Seuss, of the places you would go, and we're going to use our cross-checking to see if it makes sense. It's opener there in the wide open air. If we look at the picture, we can see that the young boy is in an open space. So we know that the picture says open space, so we can cross one side. The word says opener, which means it's wide open. So yes, we can double check and say the pictures make sense, the word makes sense. So we're cross-checking. Out there, things can happen, and frequently they do, to people as brainy and footsie as you. And when things start to happen, don't worry, don't stew. Just go right along, you'll start happening too. Oh, the places you'll go. You'll be on your way. You'll be seeing great sights. You'll join the high flyers who soar to high heights. If we look at the picture cross-checking, you see that the balloon is going up in the air. So we know that he's going to high heights. And he's going up. So the picture makes sense and the words make sense. So we can verify that we're doing cross-checking properly. You won't lag behind because you'll have the speed. You'll pass the whole game and you'll soon take the lead. Whenever you fly, you'll be the best of the best. Wherever you go, you will top all the rest. If you look at the picture again, you see that he's out number one now. So he's been number one. He's the best right now. Let's see what happens. Except when you don't. Because sometimes you won't. I'm sorry to say so, but sadly it's true that bang-ups and hang-ups can happen to you. You can get all hung up in a prickly perch, and your gang will fly on, and you'll be left in a lurch. So as we look at the picture, you see the gang now is flying, and he's stuck in the lurch. He's in the tree. So the picture makes sense, and the words add up to the picture. You'll come down from the lurch with the unpleasant bump, and the chances are then that you'll be in a slump. And when you're in a slump, you're not in for much fun. Unslumping yourself is not easily done. You will come to a place where the streets are not marked. Some windows are lighted, but mostly they're dark. A place you can sprain both your elbow and chin. Do you dare to stay out? Do you dare to go in? How much can you lose? How much can you win? And if you go in, should you turn left or right and 3/4, or maybe not quite, or go around back and sneak in from behind? Simply is not, I'm afraid you will find, for a man maker upper to make up his mind. When you look at the picture, you show there's confusion. The picture says that he don't know what to do. You can get so confused that you'll start to into race down long-winded roads, wiggle roads at a breakneck pace, and grind on for miles across weirdish, wild spaces. I fear toward a most unuseless place, the waiting place. For people just waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or a no, or waiting for their hair to grow. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for a wind to fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night, or waiting perhaps for the Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a batter brink, or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curl, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. When we look at the picture, we see they're just standing, they're sitting, they're just waiting. But let's find out what happens. No, that's not for you. Somehow you'll escape all that waiting and staying. You'll find the brighter places where boom bands are playing. With banners flipping, flapping, once more you'll ride high, ready for anything under the sky. Ready because you're the kind of a guy. Oh, the places you'll go. There is fun to be done. There are points to be scored. There are games to be won. And the magic thing things you could do with that ball would make you the winnest winner of all. Fame. You'll be famous as famous can be, with the whole wide world watching you'll win on TV. Except when they don't, because sometimes they won't. I'm afraid that sometimes you'll play lonely games too. Games you can't win because you're playing against you. All alone, whether you like it or not. Alone will be something, you'll be quite a lot. And when you're alone, there's a very good chance you'll meet things that scare you right out of your pants. There's some down the road between hither and yon that can scare you so much you won't want to go on. We look at the picture, you see he's afraid, and he's at a crossroad. And a crossroad means we're stuck in between a decision, whether to go forward, to go left or right, or just stand. But we remember the picture said we don't wait, so we have to make a decision. And sometimes decisions can make us scared. But on you will go, though the weather be foul. On you will go, though the enemy's prowl. On you will go, through the heat and cracks howl. Onward up many a frightened creek, though your arms may get sore and your sneakers may leak. On and on you will hike, and I know you will hike far, and face up to your problems, whatever they are. Whatever your problems may be, you're going to face those problems. And as the picture shows, he's facing his problems. You'll get mixed up, of course, as you already know. You'll with many strange birds as you go. So be sure when you step with care and great tact. And remember their lives, a great balance and act. Just never forget to be dexterous and deft. And never mix up your right foot with your left. And when you succeed, yes you will, indeed, 98 3/4% guaranteed. Kid, you're moving mountains. So, be your name Buxby or Bixby or Bray or Mordecai, Allen Van Hand, or Allen O'Shea. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting. So get on your way. So again, we just went over the accuracy, which means I can read the words. And we was cross-checking. In other words, when we cross-check, we're checking to make sure that the pictures and words look right, sound right, and make sense. And now the last thing we're going to cover is expanding vocabulary. We're going to expand our vocabulary. And to expand our vocabulary means I know, I find, and I use interesting words. So we're going to practice a strategy called tune in to interesting words. Tune in to interesting words. So we're going to use one more book that I like to cover this strategy called Tune In to Interesting Words. And again, we're working on our expanded vocabulary, which means I know, I find, and I use interesting words. And tune in to interesting words simply means we're going to build awareness and understanding of words. So we're going to try to find words that can help us understand what we're reading so that we be able to comprehend, which basically means I understand what I read. We're going to do it with accuracy so I can read the words. So in order to read the words, I have to be able to understand the words. If I understand the words, then I can read with accuracy and I will comprehend what I'm reading. So let's read Amelia Bedelia. I'm going to read a small portion. And this is Amelia Bedelia. So Amelia Bedelia by Peggy Parrish. Illustrated by Lynn Sweat. The telephone was ringing. I'm coming, said Amelia Bedelia. She answered the telephone. Miss Rogers, she said, where are you? I'm at the airport in Pinewood, said Miss Rogers. You didn't tell me you were going away, said Amelia Bedelia. I'm not, said Miss Rogers. I'm meeting the new teacher, but her plane is late. That's too bad, said Amelia Bedelia. The telephone at the school is out of order. What do out of order mean? Let's check that. Let's put that on the board. Out of order. Out of order. We'll come back to out of order. Miss Rogers went on. Please go to Miss Carter's office at the school. Tell him what I said. I'll go right away, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia got her things. She walked to school. Where's Miss Carter's office? She asked. The first door, said a child. Amelia Bedelia walked in. Miss Rogers tried to call you, she said, but your telephone is out of order. That word again, out of order. I know, said Mr. Carter, but thank goodness you're here. The children are going wild. Let's get going wild. We're going to continue reading. Ms. Lane left a list for today. I'll take you to the room. He handed Amelia Bedelia the list. Follow me, he said. They went down the hall. Miss Carter opened a door. Children were all over the place. All right, said Mr. Carter. Quiet. This is your new teacher. Me? Teach? Said Amelia Bedelia. But Mr. Carter was gone. She looked at the children. They looked at her. I'm Amelia Bedelia, she said. The children giggled. You're nice, said Amelia Bedelia. I do like happy children, but we have a lot to do. She held up the list. We must do just what this says, she said. Now what's first? Amelia Bedelia read, call the road. She looked puzzled. Call the road? What road? She said. Does anyone have a roll? I have, said Peter. Do get it, said Amelia Bedelia. Peter opened his lunchbox. Here it is, he said. Now I have to call it, said Amelia Bedelia. Hey, roll! Hey, roll! All right, that takes care of that, the children roared. Amelia Bedelia read her list. Land sakes, she said, listen to this. Sing a song. I never was much of a hand at singing. But it says sing a song, so I'll sing, and she did. More, more, shouted the children. No, said Amelia Bedelia, it said a song. I did just that. Oh, said the children. Now it's reading time, said Amelia Bedelia. I know about that. I read my cookbook. It tells me just what to do. She held up a book. She said, is this the right one? Yes, said Amanda. Amelia Bedelia opened the book. I declare, she said, this is a good one. Are you ready? Yes, said the children. All right, said Amelia Bedelia. It says run, run, run. The children just sat. Amelia Bedelia clapped her hands. Run, she said. Run, run, run. Amelia Bedelia ran. The children ran after her. Around the room, through the halls, around the block, they ran. Finally, they ran back into the room. Amelia Bedelia plopped onto her chair. Let's look at plop. So, let's stop right there. We're going to look at these three words. So we tune into these interesting words. Out of order, going wild, and plot. So to help us understand what Amelia Bedelia was saying, let's look at these words one more time, and we're going to get an idea of what these words mean. So let's mark the page number for plot. That's page 24. Page 9 for going wild. And we remember we heard out of order twice. Page 7 and page 9. So We recorded these three words: out of order, going wild, and plot. So if we're going to tune in, which means we want to build an awareness and understanding of words, we're going to try to find out what the words mean. We're going to do so by looking at the text. All right, so the first one we're going to look at out of order. We're going to look at page 7 and see what it kind of means. All right, so Ms. Rogers said the telephone at the school is out of order. What can we infer about out of order? Yes, that means that word lets us know it doesn't work. Let's look at going wild. Mr. Carter said, but thank goodness you're here. The children are going wild. Ms. Lane left a list for us to do today. What can we infer about going wild? Let's look over to the next page and see if we can get an idea. Let's look at the pictures. We're going to cross-check. We're going to look at the pictures and cross-check and see if we can find out what going wild means. When we look at the pictures, it seems like they're all over the place, right? By cross-checking, we can infer and imply that going wild means all over the place. Let's look at plot. It says, Amelia Bedelia plopped on her chair. What can we imply about plot? Yes, that means to sit suddenly or quickly. So, what we just covered on today, guys, we covered the CAF menu, and we're basically focused on comprehension, which means I understand what I read or what I read, and we use the strategy check for understanding for comprehension. And basically what check for understanding means, it just simply means you're going to stop frequently to monitor and check to see if you understand what you're reading. We also covered accuracy. And accuracy is simply, I can read the words. We've done that by doing cross-check. And cross-check means we check to see if the pictures or words look right. We also check to see if it sounds right. And we also check to see if it makes sense. And we actually had a little thing that we used to do so. We did our shoulder to let us know if the words look right, if they sound right, and if it makes sense. We use that for cross-checking. The last one we covered was the expanded vocabulary, and that simply means I know, I find, and I use interesting words. And one way we used that was to tune into interesting words. That's the strategy we used. And so what we did was we found words inside the text, and we kind of defined those words in our own words to get an understanding. We used it cross-checking by looking at the pictures to see if the picture made sense with the words. By doing so, we kind of understood, so we built our awareness of the words. And so we was able to then check for understanding by stopping, going back,